Welcome back. This is Good Morning Namibia. Thank you so much for staying with us. Technology continues to shape the way nations grow, govern, and connect with their citizens. From artificial intelligence to digital transformation, innovation has become a key driver of progress, especially in developing regions such as the African continent. Joining us today, Dr. Siddhartha Paul Tiwari, an academic technologist based in Singapore and the co-author of Understanding Technology in the Context of National Development, Critical Reflections, to give us deep insight into how technology can support national growth, empower youth, and bridge digital divides. Good morning, Doctor, and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning, Denver, and to all the viewers. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Doctor, let's get straight into it, please. Artificial intelligence appears to be the buzzword of the day throughout. In your book, you inter alia discuss technology's role in development. Please unpack that a bit for us.
Absolutely, Denver, and a great question. AI can be a powerful engine for national development for any country. Now, what this means for Namibia is that technology usage and AI can help automate repetitive tasks in government, industry, businesses. By using technology and AI, we are reducing human error with regards to mundane tasks that can be easily automated with technology. This means people can use their time to boost efficiency and productivity for more strategic work for things which are more complex. Now, the second part is that technology and AI can also enable real time monitoring of projects. Now, this stands true specifically for public projects. So, leaders, government officials can catch problems early and make better decisions, which ultimately promote economic prosperity. Now, what's exciting about Namibia, and this comes out of my conversations with leaders, policymakers, academicians, industry people, is that Namibia is positioning itself as a front runner in Africa when it comes to ethical and inclusive use of technology and AI. So it seems Namibia is not just positioning itself for adopting AI for the sake of it, they are aligning it with development goals, improving public services, boosting efficiency, while ensuring it's done responsibly and nicely. So that combination of innovation and caution is really commendable.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, building on those sentiments, there is consensus that Namibia has been proactive in that regard. The country has been investing both in technology for governance, but certainly also as far as services are concerned. How important do you believe are digital infrastructure as well as data-driven governance for a country's progress, especially for a developing nation such as ours?
Hey, thanks, Denver. Actually, digital infrastructure was in my mind when you asked me the first question. So it seems we are reading each other's mind, and you followed it up with a question on digital infrastructure. So, as I always say, digital infrastructure is absolutely critical. It's the backbone of modern economic prosperity. And without good connectivity, data centers, digital systems, you cannot fully leverage AI, or as I always say, any other technology for that matter. Now, data driven governance means using facts and figures to make decisions rather than going on human gut feelings. So, in my book and in my research, I saw that many government agencies suffer when their data is locked up in silos or paper files. And it's so amazing that even in today's world, there are many governments where things are locked up in paper files. And this leads to inefficiencies, missed opportunities. Now, in my conversations with policymakers and leaders, I can see that Namibia is a great example where they are trying and unifying different government systems. They've been strengthening their digital infrastructures, linking up their databases, which makes public services more efficient and policies more effective. So, when a country starts investing in these areas, you get what we call as smart governance. Services become faster, accessible, transparency for the public. And for Namibia, having solid digital infrastructure helps them integrate with the regional and global digital economy, which is a huge plus for development and the way forward.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, let's please at this juncture talk about young people. It's no secret that Africa is a very young continent. that Namibia is a very young country, and your book also highlights youth upskilling. How important is it for a country? How important is it for a continent to invest in young people by equipping them with digital skills, by equipping them with use of AI and the benefits that it also has?
It's absolutely vital, Denver. So, people are the young innovators of tomorrow. And frankly, of even today, we see a lot of young entrepreneurs across the world. Estimates suggest that over 70% of Africa's population is under 35. So, if we equip this generation with digital skills, we unlock a powerhouse of innovation. In my book, I have mentioned that a nation wishing to lead in innovation and development must start by providing basic digital training to all its citizens. That means coding classes, technology courses in schools, digital literacy programs, even simple things as to how to use a Zoom call. And I'm happy to say Namibia recognizes this. Namibia has been rolling out coding and ICT training for students and young entrepreneurs to build a future tech savvy workforce. And we are already seeing the payoff. For example, Namibia's youth are launching startups in areas like fintech, agri-tech, clean energy, and even digital education, where I'm closely involved with. Young Namibian entrepreneurs are part of the Southern African startup boom. And I feel they drive innovation and they help bridge unemployment gaps. It's how we future proof a country's economy.
We need to, at the same time, have due regard to the reality of the digital divide that in our country is a specific challenge. How do we deal with that? And how do we ensure that all citizens benefit equally from what technology has to offer, Doctor?
Absolutely. So, digital device is a critical issue across the globe. Now, bridging it is not just a technological challenge, it's a national development imperative. So, we need to make sure when you live in a city center or a remote village, you have access to the same speed of internet, to digital services, and the skills for people to use them. For countries like Namibia, vast and diverse land, people spread out means investing in digital infrastructure like rural broadband or mobile networks, even community internet hubs, means making access affordable. And it seems Namibia is putting emphasis on digital inclusion. And the key is all education, like ensuring people know how to use the tech once they have it. If done right, a farmer in remote part of Namibia or a mining worker in remote part of Namibia could use a smartphone to get market prices or telemedicine services or educational courses compared to a person who's living in a city center having the same kind of services. So the bottom line is no one should be left behind in the digital age. And I think Namibia's leaders understand that inclusivity will strengthen their development overall.
Doctor, a term that featured in our conversation earlier is smart governance. Help us understand what that means in layperson's terms for a layperson such as Denver on the periphery, and specifically, how's technology changing public services on the ground?
Awesome. So, for a layperson on the periphery, I would say smart governance is about using technology to make public services more efficient, accessible, and transparent. It touches everything. Let's take an everyday example, for example, education. So, Namibia has actually been piloting AI assisted learning in some public schools, which is pretty forward thinking. So, students struggling with, let's say, maths, for example, or science, gets personalized help from an AI program while the teacher focuses on other students. And this help is very customized and personal labor. For example, somebody's struggling with linear equations and they get specific help with linear equations. So it's like having a teaching assistant via technology available 24 by 7. And this goes true for all the services. So another area of smart governance could be imagine being able to apply for an ID card or business license online without traveling to any office or standing in queues. And Namibia is moving forward in that direction, putting services online. So when we digitalize these services, we cut down on paperwork, delays. As I noted in the book, automating routine processes can make employees more productive and citizens happier.
Greater productivity and enhanced happiness, surely a goal that we all need to pursue. Now, without an iota of doubt, of course, Doctor, with all of this new technology comes new responsibility. Artificial intelligence and tech can raise concerns around privacy, around ethics, even around the security of our jobs. How should countries approach the ethics and the governance of AI and emerging tech?
You are absolutely right, Denver. So, embracing technology isn't just about hardware, software, or mobile apps. It's about rules, values, and ethics. So, we need a very strong ethical frameworks and policies so that technology is used responsibly. Now, includes laws for data protection, guidelines to prevent AI bias, and plans to help workers transition if AI changes job markets. The good news is, I feel Namibia is really ahead of the curve on this. They were among the first in Southern Africa to undertake a comprehensive AI ethics readiness assessment. And I remember this was maybe with support from UNESCO. The results showed Namibia has made solid progress in areas like governance, digital infrastructure, public awareness, protecting human rights when it comes to AI use. So, in practice, this means they're asking the big questions. How do we ensure AI decisions are fair? How do we involve the community in tech policy? How do we guard against misuse, as you mentioned, Denver? They even hosted regional discussions on AI ethics a few years back, which shows leadership. I think Namibia understands that you cannot wait for problems to arise. You have to be proactive by putting ethical guidelines in places early, building public trust in AI.
As we start to wrap up our conversation this morning, Doctor, looking at the bigger picture, what excites you most about Africa's digital future?
Yeah, so it is very impressive to see what Namibia is doing. I think a few things set it apart. First, there's a clear vision from the top that technology is a national priority. And it's not just in words, but in actual strategies and projects. Namibia is investing in the right areas: infrastructure, education, innovation hubs. Second, I feel Namibia is taking a very holistic approach. They are not just focusing on one aspect of technology, they're simultaneously working on connectivity, on skills, on technical education, on governance, on entrepreneurship. Now, this well rounded strategy means all the pieces are moving forward together. And the third part is collaboration. Namibia has been working with international partners like UNESCO on frameworks for AI, with private sector players for connectivity and training programs. So that openness to partnership accelerates progress. And Namibia's efforts to foster innovation and digital governance aren't happening in a vacuum, as I see. These efforts reflect a broader push to prepare the country for the future.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your expertise so generously and altruistically this morning, Doctor. We truly appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you. My pleasure. And I'm confident Namibia will exceed in tech innovation and set practical evidence based benchmarks for the continent in the years ahead.
Thank you very much.